Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the treasure spawn that just came out this morning. I was about to say yesterday. For Binary Star, I cannot say the name. This treasure spawn is kind of like a throwback treasure spawn. This isn't something, well, the monster's new, but everything else besides the monster is not new. So I'm going to talk about the monster, then I'm going to talk about the treasure spawn. So let's get to it. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't get to mention this yesterday, but those weapons and armors that came out yesterday were 37 cost weapons and 38 cost armors. Now they're going back one. They're going 37 cost monsters. Kind of weird, but anyways, let's still get to it. Oh wait. Also, you guys noticed that even though it said RGB started, it still says exhibition match, and there's no ranking. If you didn't know, I just wanted to bring it up. It still feels the same. The matchmaking still feels the same for me. I'm still fighting crazy guilds like Arcane Arts and Team Dango, so it still feels the same for me. It doesn't feel like a RGB at all, even though like the date's right here and it says right here RGB battles are underway, or ranked guild battles are underway, and you can check the date too, it says it. But anyways, let's actually get to this. Okay, so it's going to remove status elements, it's going to heal, it's going to remove frenzy for all enemies, it's going to add piercer to all allies, it's going to increase use of gadget gains by 2, it's going to reduce physical and magical damage. The Durban it has, it's going to reduce attack and magic attack for all allies, and then it's going to cast blessing on yourself, and it's going to apply dazzle collapse. This monster is all hands down player versus enemy. I don't really recommend this for guild battles, or especially considering that 38 costs. I would say if you really want something for guild battles, just keep saving those gems, because first of all, this is highly PvP orientated ability, and second of all, this ain't the highest cost anymore, so you're not getting the most battle score from gem spawns as possible. You will eventually be seeing 38 cost monsters down the road, not rain. Besides like the Valkyrie and the Lilith and Valkyrie. As of right now, those are the only two, but literally 38 costs are in gem spawn, monster wise, are literally around the corner. So just be cautious of that, be careful, and I just want to tell you all that it's just not worth it for player versus player whatsoever, including Coliseum. When it comes to Coliseum, either something that hits heavy, something that prohibits Unison, or something that'll help you survive or help get rid of damage reflection, damage reduction, continue its healing effects is usually what's best for Coliseum, because that's what works the best in Coliseum. That's what's most effective. This monster has none of that and anything surrounding that. The only thing, this monster doesn't even have hero to really clutch damage either whatsoever, or anything surrounding that. 100% player versus enemy, and when it comes to player versus enemy, unless you're doing like the 40 costs, which are like elemental locked and stuff like that, you usually don't need these types of monsters. You usually have lots of these monsters, and you can use these monsters, perhaps say whether you're using homes or like when it comes to player versus enemy, when it comes to having monsters, you don't need to be specific. You don't need to have a certain monster to be OP in player versus enemy. Even 34 costs, even some 32 costs nowadays, like Gremory, will still get the job done, absolutely, for you. So this monster is not needed whatsoever. Just want to let you know, especially when it comes to like player versus enemy monsters, it's not so worrisome. Player versus player is a different story. There's a lot more demand for player versus player, but player versus enemy, not so much. Okay, so moving on from there, let's get to the actual treasure spawn. No rates whatsoever to actually obtain any stuff in the spawn's head. You will be getting double chance, you will be getting chest, and you will be getting 50 to 200 medals each time you spawn. Double chance activates after each and every first time half off, and after every jackpot you actually get. So jackpot's gonna offer summoning scroll, droplets of ether, 700 one chest, 700 another chest, one select weapon, and one select defense gear guaranteed. So the feature monsters are going to be right here. We're going to start off with a couple 37s, so it's nice that they have a couple 37s. Then we're going to start off with a couple 36s. Nice to see that. 35s. And this is where I would stop right here. I wouldn't go as lower than 34s, but A team's obviously going to go as low as 33. And just really kill like the whole purpose of doing it. So summoning scrolls, be prepared to get 33 cost monsters or 34 cost monsters, and rarely 35 and even more rare than that, 36 and 37 cost monsters. Possible to obtain them all, but just that's going to be the tier that you're actually going to be obtaining them on. 33 and 34 cost are going to pop out the most, all hands down, no questions asked. And then from here, all the stuff that's actually going to be featured in here is stuff that I think it's actually stuff that's in the metal exchange. Yeah, it looks like it's all in the metal exchange, so I could just show you in there. I don't need to show you right here what you could actually get from the chest, guaranteed. So anyways, moving on from there, I'm just going to show you in here. By the way, this is also for like the 40 cost dragons. Most of these monsters are going to be orientated greatly around the 40 cost dragons, so this spawn is kind of a throwback to that, but there's also some stuff with the spawn you may want to take a look at. So when it comes to gear score, I don't recommend this spawn whatsoever. Again, yesterday I didn't get to mention it, but 37 cost weapons and 36 cost armors are out, so cost wise I wouldn't worry about this stuff, because even one cost nowadays, with how huge the percentage gap is, can be a pretty big difference in gear score. So with the skills, these don't really have nothing special to them. At least I don't think. Let me actually check to see if there's any good abilities out there. So these look like heavy hitting skills. Yes, okay, so these are heavy hitting skills. No special ability with them. And they seem to have a success value of 72, so you want to be careful when using these also. The thing that rocks about these though is these can work for extra classes too, so if you don't really got any abilities with extra classes, those work out. You got Reflection XL, turns to Reflection double XL when it goes to SSR. Only like the good thing about this is it gives the damage reduced back at the attacker, but most people you'll be fighting will probably have reflection reduction, and with that being said, Reflection also has a lower proc rate than damage down, so damage down nowadays is a lot more recommended, especially if you're trying to tank, than Reflection will be. So yeah. And then we got Counter Hero. Counter Hero is back in an action for an opening skill. So if you missed Counter Hero before, if you want it, definitely having a Resurrection and Counter Hero as your other opening skills will make you a tank god if you have like the damage down double XLs, max infused, and you have high defenses and everything surrounding that, like damage reduction, stuff like that. You can become an absolute tank god in this game, and Counter Heroes is one of those ways and methods you can do that. So they have that gear back in here, and it looks like from here we got damage reflection or reflection reduction gear. Reflection reduction gear comes in handy when you're doing crystal assault. It's going to make the damage from the barrier reduced to 1 for yourself, so you won't be dying from that. You got 2 sets of reflection reduction gear in here, and this bow right here is great for increasing the drop rates of items of targets for the treasure hunter, so that's also going to be in here as well. So anything below, like anything at all actually in here, only consider for the skill or consider for the fact that it's going to give high elemental. They're giving 2.1 for each piece, so that right there is not a bad deal either, to be fair. Like, it depends on how much you would need the gear for like either the skill or the elemental, because that's again the only reason I would go for it. I personally wouldn't worry about the spawn. The reason I'm saying that is because, again, not given the highest gear score anymore, and I already have a Counter Hero. Counter Hero is the only thing I would even stress about in the whole spawn. Reflection, double XLs, damage down, double XLs, which they don't have in the spawn, but they do have in other spawns and stuff like that. I mean, even with Reflection, I go for damage down. Those can be done in other spawns, and those have been quite a little repetitive as skills for the 36 cost and 37 cost era, not genre, but era. So I'm not too worried about those. I feel like 37 cost Reflection double XLs or damage down double XLs to make even better will be here, so I'm not going to stress it. I don't need it. The only one I would care for is Counter Heal, and I already have it. Now, before I actually end this video, I forgot to mention that treasure spawns always pay to win spawns. You're going to need to spawn a lot. You're guaranteed to get what you're going after, but you're going to need to spawn a lot for it to happen. What they do is this medal system. Each time you spawn, you can get a certain amount of medals. You can get them in chests by chance. By chance. It doesn't mean you're getting them guaranteed, but you get them by chance. And a few little here. You're going to have to stack a lot of medals to actually get what you're going for in the medal exchange. So just keep that in mind when you're doing the treasure spawns. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped out. This is the AzureWrath, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.